Hello, it's Donna from Taffy Crafting. I'm on day 5 of the 31 days craft challenge that's been set by Scrimping Mummy. If you'd like to go and head off over to her YouTube channel and have a look and see what she's doing there, also with the same challenge. And she's set this to lots of us. She's just put that out there and encouraging us to craft every day for 31 days. And I have to say, it's been really great for just kicking my backside in gear and getting back to crafting again. So I've decided to use today something from the new catalogue, and we've got some poppies. I don't know a single person that does not like this DSP, and I thought I'd show it to you. So we've got these lovely poppies. I love the black in this. This is what I like about this. On the back, just a very kind of generic colour on there, no pattern on there. Then we've got this, which I think is really pretty. And then on the back of that, I love the greens and the blues in there. We have those. They're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Then we have this one, very different colours with the Blackberry Bliss, one of my favourite colours, the Blackberry Bliss, but really vibrant against the white with the red thrown in as well. And then on the back of that, some stripes. So there's the other one of those. And on the back of that, yeah, I'll show you that. Then we've got some big poppies, huge poppies. So if you're making a larger project, then they're ideal for that. And then on the back, we've got some polka dots. And then we've got, I really like this one. I love the colour of this. I just think that is, let me show you that a bit closer. I think that is lovely with just the merging of the purple and the red with some black thrown in there as well. That is what I like about this set, is the black. And then we've got that. We've got some more stripes. And then finally, got that. Look at that. How mean and moody is that colour? Really, really stormy, deep colour. With that, I can't think at the moment what I would do with that. But I think that's really nice. I like the splodges on it. I like the different colours. I like the mixture of the green, the purple and the red. Who would ever have put those three colours together? But look at it. It absolutely works. I love this series of paper. I try not to go for the obvious. And everybody has gone for poppies. And it's like, oh, what the heck. I'll have some poppies as well. And this is what I did with it. So I'm going to use up this piece of this piece of DSP. And this is what I made with it. Is a lovely box using black cardstock. And then there's no stamping on this. It's just put in a box together. Really good size box, this one. With that, you could decorate the inside of the box if you wanted to. But I'm pleased with that. I just mucked about with some measurements. What I wanted to do, the challenge I set myself, was to take a piece of cardstock and not have to trim it at all, just score it and turn it into a box. I think what might look nice on there maybe is to have, I haven't got any black ribbon, but maybe if a hole was put through there, some black ribbon ties so that you've got some sort of handle to pull that up. But I've just got that for now. You can do whatever you like with it. You might want to put a sentiment on it, maybe at the front or on the top. But this is all about the box and the DSP. So I'll show you how I've done that and what measurements I've used. I've got a blog post for this. We'll have all of the measurements on there. I've got mine written down somewhere. There they are. So I need to make sure I'm reading off the right things. So let's put that DSP to one side. I'm working off quite a messy desk at the moment. I've been working. I'm preparing to go back to college on Monday, which is, you'll be seeing this on the Sunday. So it will be tomorrow that I'm preparing to go back to college. And I've got lots of work to do. Not study, I teach. So I've got lessons to prepare. So I've got an A4 piece of cardstock. Now I understand, I do have some American viewers that watch me, and I know that your A4 is different to our A4. So this piece of cardstock measures 8¼ by 11 3/4. I'm not going to trim that. I'm just going to get the scoreboard out. And on the short side, I'm going to score. I'm just trying to check I've got that in shot. Yes, I have, because I've got my camera very high up today because I was using big sheets of paper. So I'm going to score that at 2½. And then I'm just going to flip that over and score again at 2½. And then we're going to rotate it. And then on the long side, we are going to score at, let me find my scores, 1/2 inch, 3 5/8, 6 1/8, that squeaky noise is my chair, 6 1/8, 9 1/4. Okay, all of these measurements are on my blog. You can write them down if you want to, but I will have them all on my blog. Oh, that was the crash of my scoreboard falling down. So what we've got here, we've got very narrow rectangles here, and that's the end that I'm going to work from. Everything else is completely symmetrical. So we've got big rectangles in the middle, and then we've got slightly smaller rectangles on the side. But I'm going to work from this side where we've got those very skinny rectangles. Okay, so that's where I'm going to start, from this end. I need to find some scissors. My Stampin' Up snips have gone walkabout. I'm still trying to find them. So I'm going to take the glue off my scissors. I'm going to just cut up to the first score line here, like that, and then I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, and I'm going to cut up each of these score lines to the first score line. And by doing this first one, we lose that first rectangle. And then I'm just going to cut up each of these. Okay, and then we're just going to turn that round, and we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. And just cut up to the first score line. Okay, so that's the same. So what I'm going to do is turn this back this way, because I like to work with this bit here. So we'll start there, and whatever we do on this side, we're then going to do on that side. So I'm going to start there, and what I want to do, this is the lid. So what I want to do is have a 1/2 inch or thereabouts, doesn't have to be exact, a 1/2 inch tab here. So you can draw a line if you want to. Now I've done both. I've done 2 projects. I did one where I drew it and one where I didn't. It really didn't make any difference. I couldn't tell which one was drawn and which wasn't. But if you want to draw that line and make it nice and accurate, then you do so. It's entirely up to you. So in that first one, we're going to have that. I'm going to do something else with these tabs shortly. So the next thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to wedge into each of these corners like that on this second one, and then I'm just going to chop off that there. That does not have to be neat. This is just a tab that's going to stick onto our base or onto our sides. We leave this alone, and then we're going to wedge into this one like that. And oops, that was a bit wrong. So these don't have to be neat, but what you do have to make sure is that they go into the corner neatly, and then I'm just going to wedge that off like that. So that's what you should be left with on that side. And then you're going to turn it round, and you're going to do exactly the same on this side. So this is going to be our 1/2 inch tab. I'm not measuring it, I've totally eyeballed that. I'm going to wedge this one. And wedge that one there. And then just knock a bit off there. We're going to leave that one alone, and we are going to wedge that. So that's what you're left with. You've got, this is your lid. This is the, what is that? That's the back, that's the bottom, and that's the front. Just going back to our lid. So this is the front flap of the lid and these are the sides. And what I want to do is round these off. Now again, I'm not going to use any special equipment for rounding. I'm just going to just get my scissors and round that off like that. But you could draw around something if you want to. Entirely up to you. And it just makes it look a little bit nicer. It also will help the box to shut. If you don't do that, the box lid gets a bit stuck. Now what I'm going to do before I stick my DSP on, I'm just going to fold and burnish all of these score lines. It's just easier to do before you've done any gluing. As well as my snips, my bone folder's gone walkabout as well. No idea where that's gone. That's what happens when you start clearing up your craft room. You start putting things away and actually forget what you've done with them. So it's just going to have to be the good old-fashioned way. So just fold and burnished all of those score lines. So now that's the inside of my box and that's how it's going to all go together. Everything else we do now is going to be on the outside. Let's get that way. And remind yourself where everything is. Lid, back, bottom, front. So when we are putting on our DSP, we need to be aware. Now, I've chosen to use DSP that's got a direction to it. If your DSP has no direction at all to it, then it really doesn't matter. What you have to remember is this going to be the right way round? So we'll cut them out first and then we'll organise them and then we'll stick them down. So I'm well aware of what my direction of this is. And I've actually had to write down the instructions just so that I can make sure that I get them right. So I need my trimmer. Let's get that. And I want some DSP. Let's do the lid first. Now the lid, it has to be 3 inches high by 3 1/8 inch wide. So I'll do the 3 1/8 inch first because I've got another one that's got to be that. So that's 3 1/8. And it's got to be 3 inches. So 3 inches high, 3 1/8 inch wide. So that is for the lid. So these will be on my blog. The front and the back, these are both the same. They are 3 1/8 inch wide and 2 1/4 high. So I just want 2 of these at 2 1/4. So that's those. So they are for the front and the back. And then I want another one that's 2 1/4. I don't think that bit is big enough. Oh, that's a shame. So 2 1/4 high. By 3 inches wide. And that is for the sides. Oh yeah, I've done one of those. Oh, I lost my train of thought there. There we go. I want 2 of those, don't I? So those 2 are front and back. That's the lid. These are for the side, so I want 2 of those. I've forgotten what they were. Two and a half. No, it wasn't. It was 2 1/4 high. By 3. Probably find out I've got one too many of those now. So let's put those to one side. And what we're going to do is now glue those. So everything we're going to do now is on the outside of the box. Okay. And so that one is the lid. So that's the front of the box. So we're going to put that there so that when you're looking at the box, you can see that frontwards. So now I've got that in the right direction. Let's just get that down. So just use some wet glue on there. You can use whatever glue you like. Wet glue just means that when I get that down, then I can just move it about a bit. This is the back. So that means that I want my paper. So if that's the bottom, I want this to be pointing that way. Oops. And then that is the front, and so that's going to come up. So this is the bottom, it's going to point up that way. I want to make sure I've got the right bits here. Yeah. Oh, I need to put something on this chair, it's so squeaky. Super squeaky. Oh, wrong way. Oh, now I don't know. Yeah, that way. And then these two side bits, because this is the bottom, then that's the bottom of the DSP is going to come up from the bottom of the box. I may have got my bits of card mixed up. I have. I'm going to very carefully take that off. That's how quick that glue grabs. That's actually on the wrong bit. I want that bit there. I knew I was getting them in the wrong place. Luckily I was able to get that before the glue had completely set, otherwise I'd have to put something on top of it. Okay, so that is going to go on there like that. And then that one is going to go there. I don't want to have to cut out another one of these. And then that final one on the other side piece. Okay, now just while all of that glue is setting, the next thing I want to do is put some adhesive on these tabs, because this is what's going to hold it all together. So I'm using tear and tape for that, and I'm just going to put the tear and tape right on that score line there. And on here as well. There's something else I've forgotten to do. I've got to remember to do that in a second before I put this together. And I'll do that now before I forget. I've got a little 1-inch punch, 1-inch circle punch, and I need to put a thumb circle. So I'm just going to eyeball that there. That looks pretty much in the middle to me. And then I'll just finish off with my adhesive on this. And then we're almost then ready to put this box together. It's so quick to put this together. Once you've done all your cutting out and stuck all your bits on, it's all very quick. Now, along with my bone folder and my snips is my pokey tool. So I'm having to use the edge of my scissors to lift up this tape. There's a drawer somewhere in my craft room where I've got all of my tools and I've forgotten that it's there. I must look, because this is not ideal. last bits here. Okay, so now we're ready to put this together. So I'm going to start at this end, and each of these score lines are going to join the raw edges of these side flaps. So with this here, that flap is going to go to the back of that flap, and the raw edge will join the folded edge. And you want to get that down, because we're using tear and tape, we've got no wiggle room here, it's just got to go on first time, and you've got to get it to match. Now I'm trying to match that without getting my head in shot. Normally I'd get my eyes right up close to that. So again, raw edge, match the folded edge. Come then back to this one. So this flap goes behind that, and you'll match the raw edge with the folded edge. And then again, this gets a bit awkward, just tuck it behind, and you're then going to match that final raw edge with the folded edge. And we are just about almost there. Just push those down inside, fold in those these little side bits here. Do they look like they've not been measured? No. Do they look like they've just been guessed with rounding it? No. All anyone's going to be interested in is what's in the box. So you're going to fold those flaps in there, fold that front one in, and there we have it. Fits absolutely perfectly, and I love the black against the black of that DSP. So I hope you like that project and that inspires you to get crafting. So that's day 5 of the 31 days craft challenge. We're getting there. I can't believe I've got to day 5, and I will be back again tomorrow with another project for you. Remember that all of the measurements are on my blog, so if you want to pop over there, the link is in the description bar, and while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll be back again soon. Bye bye.